our one last question to all my panelists, and this is, I think, the most important question, is how do we encourage dialogue within our own family members or in our people in our extended family, like our chacha, mama, cousins, in a respectful and honorable way, and educate them about some of these topics? Because, you know, a lot of these elements of racism exist on a very, like, they're very minor streaks, and everybody can see them, like, you know, in conversations, in jokes, in media, and all of that. But how do you call out them and still be respectful? Because I feel like one thing that we were talking earlier is that if you say something, if you call out an adult and say, oh, this is racist, or this is a racist joke that you're making, or you're making a racist comment, they just wear the hat of, oh, I'm an adult, like, I'm older than you, I know everything, and you're being disrespectful to me. Disrespect is something that is very it's a very conveniently used word in the South Asian community. So how can we actually talk to people, let's say our older generation, and educate them? And I feel like a platform like this is a mean to do that, and our younger generation. And
in terms of how to speak, I think you kind of really have to pick and choose your battles, because I don't know. I feel like, where do I encounter some racism? It'll be like racism jokes, memes, whatever. It'll be on a WhatsApp chat with my 80 other group members, and it's sometimes about being like, is this really the most useful place that I can engage someone? Probably not. So I think it needs to be a conversation where you're having it in person, and you kind of have to feel like you can influence that other person. Otherwise, it could be a very frustrating experience for you. So it's about identifying who are the people in your life that you can meaningfully have a conversation with, and then kind of make them feel comfortable enough to talk about the things that maybe they're worried about, or the prejudices they've held, and point it out in a way that doesn't make them feel like you're attacking them, because a lot of these topics are so sensitive and they're so well ingrained that, so like we were saying about people saying all lives matter and all this, and you can't always get angry because it is a place of ignorance. And while we shouldn't still be having these conversations, the point is that we are. So you have to develop some level of patience and see, can I actually have some meaningful conversation with this person based on what I know, and then have your facts, have your resources, and just be very consistent, because you're not going to change someone's mind overnight. You're not going to do it in one conversation. You have to be willing to make small concessions to what they say and have small debates for a very long period of time.
So I would like to just conclude our conversation, and Sabrina and Soleha, I would like you to add any last words that you want to add, any suggestions or any tips raising kids, how to educate them, or how to raise anti-racist kids, or just more aware or mindful kids, and how to have those conversations, or just any last messages going on, starting from Soleha.
So I'll make it really short and snappy. In terms of the first question about how do we speak to our elders, I think they're at the age where you need to show them rather than talk to them, because you need to undo all of that's happened before in their years and their experiences. So a lot of our communities tend to focus on a cultural community group in the area. So try to get them involved in volunteering community activities, like a diverse community centre where they can meet other people from different backgrounds. That would open up their own perspective, and they'll slowly change their perspective themselves because they're meeting those people. Secondly, in terms of children, I'll give you an example of my own niece, actually. She is 4 years old, and she's at the age where she's going nursery. 3 years old, sorry. She's at the age where she's going nursery and stuff. And the way my sister has taught her about diversity is actually allowing her to recognize colour and saying to her, look, these people, they are from a different place in the world. They come from a different place, and they do things differently from us. It doesn't mean they do it in a bad way. It's really simplistic language to use with a child, because she's curious. She would say, oh, that's a nice dress. Why don't I have a dress like that? It's just having those really simple day-to-day basic conversations, not actually sitting down your kid, because then your kid's going to get kind of scared, like, what are you talking about? But it needs to be a part of your daily language with your child. And also books as well, when you're reading to them, have a diverse range of books from different authors. So what my sister does is that she has books. She's also got the standard Pakistani Muslim storybooks as well, but she's also got English literature to show her different backgrounds, and also YouTube videos as well. They're very diverse. She watches everything from Polish to Spanish. I think it's kind of introducing it like that. Final messages would be keep yourself in check. It's like if you don't understand the culture, ask questions in a respectful way, enter their spaces respectfully with permission, and going into, for example, we're talking about the Black Lives Matter movement at the moment. Don't go up to a black person and say, hey, what are your struggles? Don't do that. It's undermining. It's not nice. Go away, go read literature on Netflix right now. They have a whole bunch of documentaries on there. There's a list of films as well. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're featuring 13th at the moment, and that talks about systematic racism. So watch those if you're not much of a reader. That's the final messages I would say.
Okay. I want to talk about more of the like elders, like Muslim elders in particular. You could just like tell them how some of our prophets were like black, like for example Moses and Jesus. They were actually black, our black prophets. And Khadija, I want you to mention about Adam and Eve, like the science behind that.
Yeah, so I'm a biomedical scientist, so whatever I think in terms of like genetic perspective, and there is a very strong research that supports that the first human being on Earth was actually a black person, because black, like when you study the profile of black people, their genes have a range of diversity, which can offer like from a black color, it's easier for the melanin content to decrease and then eventually emerge as white people. So there's a very strong evidence that supports that the first human being was a black person, and that's how all we came from, what we came from. So just to conclude this point with that, is that we might have cousins or extended cousins who are her black people, right? Who are even Africans, and just to embody that and think of yourself as a global human being rather than my language, my sect, my belief, and think of yourself part of a very big scheme of picture, because we're not going to be alive 100 years from now on, and somebody else would be leading beyond us, right? Regardless of their race. So just be mindful of who you are. What your interactions are with people. I think one thing that we can all take away, if one thing that my viewers can take away from this is that just do introspection. Think about all the things that you are doing that might be racist, and just call them out, address them within yourself, and respectfully address them within the circles around you. That is the only place that you have influence over, right? And also, like, we are all normal people in normal spheres of life who strongly feel about this issue, and everybody who's listening to us, they're not superheroes or saviors or politicians who are going to save us. We have to save ourselves, and we have to come up with innovative solutions to fight this race, to fight this war against racism. And anything like this is absolutely not acceptable that costs precious life, like it did for George Floyd and all the others. We really feel sorry for the Black community, and I don't really have words to explain that, because like living in America, seeing all the protests and everything that's happening around me, I just feel so empty right now, right? Like, I just feel like, what is happening with the world? What have we become? What have we evolved as human beings? Why have we become so harsh? I don't really have any words to say on that. So just this was our like very minor attempt to create awareness and change within our peer circle. If you feel that this has been helpful, share this, create awareness, talk to people, have conversations, be respectful of yourself, respectful of others. And just to conclude it, we are all fruits of life that the world has to offer us, and God has created us in different shapes, colors, and sizes, and just be there to appreciate that. And just would like to thank all my panelists from around the globe, Sarim in Pakistan, and all my other panelists from the UK, who brought in really interesting perspectives from different South Asian cultures, experiences. I really appreciate this diversity, and I hope people benefit from this. And that's it. And thank you so much.
Thanks, Khadija.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to
Bye.
us.